I have bad news if you were planning to drink and eat your way through the pandemic. Just as climate change threatens homes, it also threatens the world's supply of coffee, wine, and chocolate. This is climate change, coffee, wine, and chocolate at stake. My name's Sebastian, and I'm joined by my colleagues Kate and Leah. Kate will give us a deeper insight into the question that we're looking to investigate.
Thanks, Sebastian. We are looking to investigate the impact of climate change on the water, energy, and food nexus. As Sebastian mentioned, some of the most sensitive foods are also some of our most beloved. We want to look specifically at the impact of climate change on coffee, wine, and chocolate. Leah will now explain the importance of this question.
Thank you, Kate. And so looking at our question and the model, the model gives us the data, and we're going to analyze the climate change trends for the next 80 years to identify its impacts on, the wine, chocolate, and coffee. And our model also gives us the opportunity to figure out which are the weakest points of the supply chain, but it also enables us to, ensure accountability by pointing out what stakeholder can do what, and the public perception regarding climate change as it touches all our hearts. And so going into the stakeholders, the most important stakeholders are the people in the coffee, wine, and chocolate supply chain. So the farmers, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, and consumers. And this doesn't leave the government outside and, the climate change advocacy groups inclusive.
To investigate this question, our objective is to look at the impacts of climate change on the water, energy, and food nexus through the next century. We will use the Nordhaus dice model as our predicted temperature changes and look at the system elements both inside the boundaries and external. We'll look at things like the regulatory decisions, temperatures, CO2 emissions, weather changes, energy changes, and even diet trends. Externally, we will look for technological innovations, natural disasters, pandemics, and other shocks to the system.
We anticipate and hypothesize that the results and implications touch base on three facets of this project: information, perception, and policy. Within information, what we hope this project will have us do is identify levers that are threatening, endangered, and sensitive foods, and to see whether or not this can be applied to foods outside the scope of this project. Within perception, although chocolate, coffee, and wine are not vital for human survival, studying impact of climate change on these sensitive foods will raise awareness by hitting people's soft spots. And third, related to policy, is perhaps the implication of the project to advise policymakers in relevant industries in implementing sustainable agricultural models, while also instituting necessary regulations to strengthen food security, not only for these sensitive foods, but for foods across the agricultural industry. Thank you for your time.